I don't have any tooth. I'll admit it. I will brag. Those players did not just go and whip that ass for us to be like, oh, good game. No, we whipped your ass. We took $800,000. Now we're partying with it.
Yeah, who cares if you're in the Power 5 conference if you don't win it, ever? Or you don't beat any of the teams in it? Like, what's the point of that? Wouldn't you rather win the conference and say, like, hey, my team is good, than lose the conference and say, well, our conference is good?
Look, they don't call me Tip for nothing. And my tip is, look out for the Group of 5 this season. They've been taking it to the Power 5 year after year.
The only quarterbacks that ever get any love are from the Power 5. I could easily list off the top Group of 5 quarterbacks I would rather have than those guys. I would be willing to bet that at least one of them is going to be in the running for the Heisman this year.
Down the middle, James, the lateral to the corner of the end zone. Can you believe that?
Welcome in, everybody, to the Group of 5 Guys podcast. I am your host, Matt Sprouse. On tonight's show, we're going to review Week 8. We're going to preview Week 9 of Group of 5 football, which, like we say, is real college football for real fans. If y'all do like the show, make sure you hit like and subscribe on YouTube. Give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Follow us on all the social media platforms at Group of 5 Guys. I'm going to go around the horn and say what's up to the fellas. Jesse Grisham, how are you this evening?
Doing fine, Matthew. I'm doing fine sitting here at a beautiful fall night, drinking a Miller Lite and talking to you fine folk. I just have a feeling that, I don't know. I don't know how my game is going to be today. I just feel like I'm going to screw up a lot. I just have a bad feeling. Just got an inkling.
At least you're aware of it this week. Down to the bottom left on my screen, Tyler Tipton. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm going to impersonate the swag bear really fast. Talking about last week's episode. Listen, I'm not the type of person to brag about myself, but in last week's episode, I was right about North Texas covering the 10 points at UTSA. I was right about UTEP beating FAU as a home dog with everything on it. I was right about Wyoming winning against Utah State. I was also right with Georgia Southern upsetting Old Dominion. However, I was way wrong on NIU, Toledo, UCF, and UAB. So, just another week of things not going how we thought they would go. And I expect the same in Week 9.
Yeah. No idea. Wild season all the way around. Last but not least, Jeff Murphy. How are you this evening?
I'm great, boys. Great to be here again. Another great weekend of college football, and MTSU was on a bye this week, so naturally I was on a bye. I didn't have to travel or go call the radio, so got to spend time with the family. And my oldest son, Dominic, played in a baseball tournament Saturday and then played in his first flag football game Sunday, had a touchdown pass and a 2-point conversion run. So he had a great day. We all had a great day, and another week of college football ready to go. And
Any picks?
No interceptions. We don't throw interceptions here in the Murphy household, or else you don't get. If you do, you don't get dinner. That's what I told him. So he had no interceptions. He had a couple flag pulls, which are essentially like tackles in flag football, and it was a good day. Good day.
Those are essentially like tackles in the NFL now, too.
I know,
Jeff.
right?
So pull the flag. You'll be playing in the league in no time.
Oh, he's ready to rock and roll.
Well, I know there was a lot of bad stuff from this week, but Jesse, I'm going to give you the opportunity to provide us with the worst from the weekend and give us your Natrocious award from Week 8.
It's Natrocious. It's Natrocious. I was waiting on you, Jeff, see if you're on your A game or not. Natrocious award for this week. Really like the pregame shows. Whenever, let's use NFL, for example, you have Rams versus the Raiders, and we start talking about how, Justin Herbert, how he's going to impact this game. And I hope whenever you heard that, you start thinking Justin Herbert doesn't play for the Rams or the Raiders. No shit. ESPN, you over here looking at the Georgia State App State game, talking about Kyle Van Treese and the hell of a game he had the week before and how he's going to impact the Appalachian State Mountaineers. There comes a time where these guys, these players that are busting their ass, sweating, bleeding, crying, celebrating, they're there to bond and be playing college football together, and they are actually excited to get play on national television. But I promise you right now, it's not even worth playing national television whenever you have to deal with people like ESPN who doesn't give a flip or the time of day to do the proper research to know what's going on with that school, what's going on with that tradition, and just anything in general with a group of five. If you don't care, if you do not care about to do the group of five games, then give it to somebody else. Let somebody else who actually gives a flying rat's ass about group of five, let them talk about group of five. Because Matthew Sprouse, he will spit stats at you all day and give you a good feedback for each team. Jeff Murphy can talk about the quarterback play, and Tyler Titton will tell you the games to bet. I will sit back, drink Miller Lite, and have the best time ever. The ESPN covering these college football games, it's atrocious to the fact like I don't think anybody's getting in trouble for it. I think it's just you talk about Kyle Van Treese. Let's talk about the coffee maker and laugh about it. It's embarrassing. Kyle Van Treese plays for Georgia Southern, does not play for Georgia State. Georgia State probably could use Kyle Van Treese, let's be honest with you. But it's hard to watch Sprouse. I'm just sick of it. I'd rather the games not even be on ESPN and be on a channel or with a group or organization who knows what they're talking about. Or I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm just ranting. But I just wish ESPN would just beep off.
Yeah,
it's atrocious. It's atrocious.
The worst part about it was you think about an ESPN pregame show, and somebody had to go through and put all the graphics up for Kyle Van Treese. Somebody had to go through and put together a highlight film for Kyle Van Treese. They interview Sean Clark pregame on the sideline. Then Zubin, who, full disclosure, I actually think Zubin's one of the old school ESPN guys that's not bad. He says it. And then their whole host of guys at the desk, I can't even remember who the other two guys were there that are guys that played in the NFL and played college football. They start talking about it, and not one single soul leading up to that game said, hey, wait a sec, guys. This game's got Georgia State in it, not Georgia Southern. Not one single soul. And then they proceeded to put another graphic up of the upcoming weekend of Sunbelt games.
Wrong.
And they had Georgia Southern on there. So they thought they were playing. We had a little doubleheader on week 8. I mean,
well Sprouse, they also had a graphic of James Madison versus Marshall, and they had Conference USA on it. So it wasn't just one. Game. Yep. I mean, it was multiple like gaffes and blunders. I mean, I haven't seen this many gaffes since, well, just the other day at the White House. But, I mean, it's bad. It's bad over there on ESPN and CBS. They're all bad.
I think you said, Sprouse, it's called the worldwide leaders in sports, but they only care about – they put time and effort all week to maybe 5 to 6 Power 5 games. And they're going to be on top of their P's and Q's for those games. So I know they have a lot of people that work at ESPN. But if you cannot take the time and quality effort to make sure that these kids are getting, shown with respect and a glimpse of quality like you try to do for the afternoon games on ESPN on Saturday, then give it to somebody else. I can't even watch it. I can't watch this. I got to put them on mute. It's terrible. It's horrible.
Well, and the thing that gets me too is it's like, I know you probably had an intern, working that, but if you're the intern or you're the entry-level employee producer that's working at ESPN, you're not producing the game day preview show from Eugene, Oregon. You're not on that. You don't have to know about that. They're like, hey, man, we're going to give you the Wednesday night one, man. Less viewers. It's a Sunbelt game, App State, Georgia State. We're going to give you that one. This is your time to shine. I just don't understand how that many people that do this for a living and make a salary, and then especially the guys at the desk that are the talking heads that probably are making, all those guys probably making at least 6 figures to do it. I don't know, man. It is frustrating, and I know they were hearing it. I know we had the Group of 5 Army on Twitter getting after them. So,
well, Sprouse, it just goes along with the lack of attention to detail and being somebody that employs people and tries to hire people on a day-to-day basis. I mean, nobody wants to work. Nobody cares about the attention to detail anymore, and it goes the same for ESPN. But you know who does care about details? Well, for the most part of this group, it's the group of 5 guys. We'll take a fraction
You
of
gonna take
what
that tip? You gonna let them talk to you like that? You gotta speak up, son.
we'll take a fraction of what you're paying these people, and we will travel the country, go to group of 5 schools, and report it the way it's supposed to be reported, and you will gain so many more viewers, followers, all of it for it. So
You don't even have to pay me. Just give me a case of beer in the press box and just let me just have my way.
Not
pay
the
for
press box.
travel and stay, and we're there. Boom.
What'd you say? You said flex bucks?
I said no, I did not. I said not the press box.
Yeah.
But here's what I'll say too, and we screw up often, but we own up to it every time.
Oh yeah.
Or we call each other out. If Jesse screws up, we call him out. If I screw up, Jesse calls me out. So that's what kills me. It wouldn't have been a problem if somebody made a mistake and anybody else was just like, hey, yeah, Kyle Van Treese, a great player for Georgia Southern. They got a big game this weekend, but it's not this one. I don't know. That's all. That's enough of that. But super frustrating, man. Super frustrating. Hopefully some of these voicemails give ESPN a word. I don't know. I've not heard them yet. I guess Jeff's the only one that's seen some of the voicemails, but we want to get to the hot take hotline. You guys keep calling in, talk your trash. Hopefully we got a response from Creme Brulee maybe this week. I don't know. We got a little Twitter beef. We got a little voicemail beef going on. 615-900-4286. Y'all keep calling the hotline. Jeff, let them roll.
Appreciate the calls again. Keep them coming in. We had a handful of new callers this week, so we appreciate them. Keep them coming in. We want to hear new people, new stories, new beefs, whatever it is. We did not get a response from Creme Brulee. He is actively calling for the head coach to be fired over there at Texas State on Twitter, so he's got his hands full. But we did have some rebuttal from one of our regular Coastal fans to some words that Terry Johnson had last week. So we'll get to that. But let's kick this off. We have a new caller, App State Fanatic. So let's check him out.
Hey there, fellas. This is App State Fanatic here. First time, long time. Not much of a tweeter, more of a lurker. Been following y'all for a while. Been following App State Sports on Twitter. And boys, let me tell you about Atrocious. Jesse, first off, you're staying Atrocious. I'm calling you here Wednesday before the Georgia State game. I still running red hot from Texas State. Could not bear calling in after another loss. And, you know, it's chilly here where I'm at. It's colder up in Boone, North Carolina, but I tell you where it's warm. It's got to be pretty warm under Coach Clark's behind there. I mean, that seat better be hot. Because where this program's at, from where it's been, we're offering a lot of firsts. And no longer first-time bowl win, first-time conference championship, the Sun Belt. It's first time losing Texas State. It's first time losing to Coastal. They're a good ball club, a lot of talent. I think they could turn around. Wednesday night is where it starts. Look forward to hearing how it goes and hearing you boys after the fact. All right. Bye now.
Appreciate the call. New caller. And let me just phrase that into a question. It was possibly warm before that game. How's that seat cooled off? What do you guys think?
How do you think? I know how we were feeling because we were talking about it during the game, but how do you think those fans were feeling at halftime of that Georgia State game, down 14-7?
Well, I got two things on this. One, I will say this, and we love App State. We love Sean Clark. The end of that first half was pretty poor clock management, in my humble opinion. However, whatever that man said at halftime is the adjustment you want. And so I think he cooled it off. He cooled it off quite a bit.
I think so. I think that's a little bit of a rash judgment. You know, we know how every fan base has this set of fans that if it doesn't go exactly the way that they want it to, they start maybe a little premature, calling for people's heads. And you got a good one there at App State. So, I think he deserves and has earned little bit of leniency. Chris?
Go ahead, Jesse. You were biting your tongue.
I get a migraine hearing just Sean Clark on the hot seat. No way he's on the hot seat. No way. Even before the game, if they lost Georgia State, I don't even think he'd be on the hot seat. The guy's great. But let's be honest here. That had nothing to do with coaching. Had nothing to do with the players. Had nothing to do with anything about App State while they won that game. The only reason they won that game is because I turned on the game in the second half and I jinxed them. That's what happened because I was so happy. I was at Nofo Brewery. I was drinking beers, eating pizza. I was like, Michaela, Georgia State's winning 14-0. Let's buy another round. I was so excited. I even lit a cigar up. And then I get home. And then Cam Peoples decides to say, like, hold my beer, hold my cigar. And Georgia State looks like they're just trying to hump a doorknob. They cannot tackle worth a shit. It looked like Little Giants versus the Cowboys. It was and Spike was Cam Peoples just running over Georgia State. I was like, Sean Elliott, you're over here. You think you're an aggressive coach? You better start headbanging a little more because these guys are soft. Oh, yes.
Well, there's your answer right there, State Fanatic. So we appreciate the call. Keep them coming, and yeah, I think Sean Clark's all right. So, all right, another new caller here. Let's get to it. Garrett Drone.
Hey, guys. This is Garrett Drone, App State alum. I'm on Twitter, but that doesn't really matter. Heading down the mountain as we speak. It's 11:38. Just want to say on the way up the mountain, I listened to the podcast. Was rather disappointed with the last 7 minutes or so when a lot of you guys were betting against us. We were banged up. We were bruised and battered. The bye week, I'm putting that in quotations, was good for us. We got quite a few guys back. First half was ugly, I'll admit that, but the second half you got to see some real App State football. We ran it down Georgia State's throat. They couldn't stop us. Defense turned it on, held that Granger quarterback to 73 yards passing. He did rush for 90, but I think y'all missed the mark on that bet with the over-under stuff. Got a couple more games left of this season. I think you're going to see some real App State football. I think the tide has turned. I think you're going to see some dudes coming out with some hot heads, especially Cam Peoples. If you watched the game, he was running like a man possessed. And if you can't stop him, you can't stop App State. So look forward to hearing what you guys have to say about that. For some of you, I hope that crow tastes real good Thursday morning for breakfast. Talk to you soon. Thanks.
Appreciate it, Garrett.
First,
Floor's open.
I'm the only one that bet Georgia State. I think everybody else here was taken at.
Yeah.
So that call was directed at me. And let me just also say, because get his Spike, like he literally just ran over like 3 guys in one run. And what was really cool about Sean Clark, like you want to fire the guy or the guy's in the hot seat, he tells at halftime, he says, we're running the ball rest of the game. We're not throwing the ball. They did throw the ball like once or twice, maybe once. He ran the ball literally almost every play in the second half. And that's where I was like, Georgia State, just go get back in your cradle, let mama rock you. It was over.
Well, when you think about App State, historically, or at least the last couple of years, like that's what they've been. They've been, we're going to pound the rock, we're going to go play action and go take our shots when we need to and play really good defense. And they have kind of got away from that the last couple of weeks. And I know you got Chase Bryce and you got a couple of receivers that are fast and you can, he wants to throw the ball, but you can't change your identity. And you got this really a 3-headed monster, with those running backs, like pound the rock. Cam Peoples looked like the Cam Peoples of old. And if he continues to look like that and offensive line blocks like that, they're gonna be a problem going the rest of the way.
I literally think if I never flipped that game on, Georgia State wins like 42-7.
Swag Bear Jinx.
Swag Bear Jinx is a real thing. You're welcome, Mountaineers.
All right, we'll get to the next one. We got he's a regular caller, our boy Zachary Branner.
Beep beep beep.
What's up, fellas? This is Zachary Branner. Y'all know who it is. How about them Trojans, man? Yeah, it was a good game. Ugly game. From a officiating standpoint, offensively for us. But that defense, and them to play with. Get that bleep button ready. Fuck South.
Oops,
all the way.
Sorry.
little bitch boys down south. They're our little brother. Have been for 5 straight years now. We're bowl eligible for the first time since 2018, my senior year. Always refreshing to hear it. We're now number 1 in the West. We're gonna go in this weekend feeling pretty good. The number 1 spot. TJ Jackson's got to get healed up. That beast of a D lineman, Carlton Marshall, it's just ever so closer to that record. But man, doesn't it feel good to beat little brother? Again, I say South all day long, and one Troy was right.
I missed one. First one of the season.
Did y'all watch that game all the way through it?
Pretty close.
I thought it was so funny how, and I thought it was clear as day, the game was not over, and Summerall and the whole staff just charging the field. That was the right game, right? Because there was 2 seconds left to go on the clock. Now, granted, the refs ended up calling ball game. I disagree with the call. I thought it was definitely 2 seconds left to go on the clock. But the referees could not get the control of that game. Troy was already leaving the field, and it was pretty funny.
Well, that's what you do when you're up. When you're the winning team, you walk off the field.
Get out of it. Yeah.
Get out of Dodge.
Call it. Yeah, I watched that game, and I couldn't. I'm not a big defensive. I like to see scores. I hate watching, some of those old Big Ten games where it's just like slow and not a lot of offense. But that game was good, man. Both of those defenses are good, and it was solid. It was just nobody's missing tackles. They can't get anything. Nobody's out of place. I mean, Troy's defense, man. I mean, both of their defenses, and now they're tied, but Troy's got the tiebreaker. So, for South Alabama, they've got to hope Troy slips up.
They went out. They're in, right?
Yeah, Troy wins out. They're in. Yep.
And they got a tough game coming up at Louisiana. Yeah. That's their next game on November 5th, and then after that, conference-wise, you have Monroe at home, and then you finish up the season at Arkansas State. So if they can win that Louisiana game, it's looking very likely that they'll win out the rest of their conference games.
Monroe, better look out for them.
Yeah. No, Troy's defense is unreal. And we saw them in. I think me and Sprouse talked about this when we went to the spring game. We wondered, if their offense just didn't look great. But the more we kind of think about it, it's like their defense was just that damn good, and you're seeing it week in, week out. So appreciate it, Zachary. You got one by me, so I'll give you one there.
Hang on a second. No. I'm gonna go ahead and fix my take. Sorry. Yeah, Monroe got smoked by Army. At one point, they were winning. So before I get smoked, I get it. Bad take. Monroe ain't bad, but this one, y'all might even heard me say it. I said Monroe ain't bad.
There you go. You caught yourself. That boy.
I caught myself.
There you go.
Stat check.
There you go. All right, let's get to the next one. Another new caller, and let's just get to him. He's another App State guy.
Group of 5 guy. This is Bill Wood from Boone. Loving life. Love y'all show. Y'all are great. Swagberry, don't feel bad. You're going to be losing your money on something. At least it's not on loose women. Yep. Everybody out there, we've played like crap this year. We've been inconsistent. Can't cover a pass. Can't do a lot of things. But the boys may have righted the ship. And I cannot wait to go to Conway. I just cannot wait. We're going to chase those swamp chickens all the way into their knee deep in the Atlantic Ocean. And chickens don't swim too good. Keep up the good work, fellas. Come on back to Boone. We'll take you anytime. Appreciate it. And I like that guy from Louisiana. I forget his name. See ya.
Terry.
That'd be Terry Johnson.
Terry's over here getting his own freaking fan base just calling in.
Hey, I'm telling you, man, you get great calls, and we haven't quite got to this point yet, but the more calls we get, we want to play them all, but at some point, if we start getting too many, we'll have to narrow it down to the best calls of the week. So keep the fire coming for sure.
Let me play a little hypothetical with y'all based on the last couple calls. So App State's sitting at 2-2 in the conference, but like he mentioned, they still go to Coastal, who is 3-1. So let's just, again, hypothetical. Let's say App State wins out. They'll be sitting there with the tiebreaker over Coastal. And then let's just play a little hypothetical and say the old Raging Cajuns upset Troy. Don't look now. don't look now, but both App State and Louisiana might be getting a little hot at the right time.
I promise you that's not going to happen.
Well, congratulations, Louisiana and App
Yeah, I was
State.
just
Just made the championship.
Anytime the Swag Bear promises, you
I'm
can-
not saying
No, I
App
don't-
State
I
will
don't
make
think
it.
I don't think it will,
Louisiana
but
will.
Yeah.
but just don't look now is all I'm saying.
App
It's been
State,
a wacky
they-
season so far.
I could easily see App State somehow make it in there. And James Madison lost a week to they
They
lost
lost
to
to
Marshall
Marshall.
this year.
They can
last
go
last game.
anyways.
I know. It's just
Well, yeah, it's
Anybody
still
can
in
beat
the
anybody,
East. I
though.
mean, Old Dominion. Yeah, Old Dominion's still sitting there at 2-1. Georgia Southern's at 2-2. It's everybody's 2-1 or 2-2 in the East,
Yeah.
and they all still
And App
play.
State has to play all of those teams to finish
I
the
have
season.
such a
So if
love-
they
So-
win all of those,
Right.
then they have a
That's
legit
exactly right.
shot of winning
That's
that
exactly
division.
right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say I have a love-hate for the Sun Belt, but I guess they're the same as the MAC. I just feel like their teams are better in the Sun Belt, and it's just the ODU game really upset me too.
Jeff, play the next voicemail.
I gotcha. All right. Well, we got another new caller. We appreciate the new callers. Keep them coming. And this guy was he's a little shot at us. Not too much, but Liberty fan, Zach, ZT Go Flames on Twitter. So let's get to him.
I like Liberty.
What's up, guys? My name is Zach at ZG Go Flames on Twitter, and I'm just calling to tell you to remember the name. Remember the name of the Liberty Flames, baby. I know they're not Group of 5 yet, but we're coming into the Group of 5 hot next year, and we're coming right for the Conference USA Championship. Because I know you guys can't talk about us now, but I know you're going to be talking about us next season. Because under Hugh Freeze, no matter what happens next year, under Hugh Freeze right now, we're rolling. 41-14 beatdown of BYU last night. Just utter demolition of the Cougars last night. And I just can't wait to be a part of the Group of 5 so that you guys can talk about us, because I know that those boys on that field are gonna be worthy of talking about. And we're coming right for that Conference USA crown. And I know you guys are Blue Raiders guys and everything, and I respect that, and I love that, but we're coming right up there with Western Kentucky. We're coming right up there with them for that title. And if you guys want to catch up to us, let's go for it, all right? And I know I'm talking a lot of smack right now, kind of joking around, but in all seriousness, like, Conference USA is going to be good for us. We appreciate the schools in that conference taking us in and accepting us, and I'm looking forward to the competition next year. And I'm joking about the Blue Raiders, but y'all got a good program, and those should be good games. I know last year's game in Lynchburg was not very good, but most of Liberty Nation is looking forward to it. Thank you for what you do. Talking about the Group of 5, it's very much needed. I really appreciate that. And so thank you for that, and I look forward to the Flames being a part of it. And I'll just throw one other thing. Forget about JMU. They're not the best team in the state of Virginia. They just lost 2 games straight. Your Liberty Flames are the best team in the state of Virginia. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Look forward to hearing Liberty pop up every now and then next season on the show. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
I love it, Zach.
I do too.
I'm going to go ahead and say it.
Everything he said was right.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to call my shot now that if Hugh Freeze is still the head coach at Liberty next year, they will win Conference USA.
I'll go ahead and call it. He's not going to be there next year. But I will say they said that Conference USA is good for Liberty. I think it's the other way around. I think Liberty's going to be good for Conference USA.
Yes,
that's going to be a huge
agreed.
help. Even when Hugh Freeze leaves. I said when he leaves.
Well, here's what Liberty has that the rest of the remaining Conference USA teams have not shown to have. They've got the investment into football and in athletics. And I'm going to tell you, I went to Liberty's football camp in 2007. They already had nice stuff. And I know they've upgraded since then. So their crowd was rocking, and they beat the hell out of BYU this weekend. I mean, they're ready to roll.
Can I go ahead? So whenever you go through like, hey, what was your top performers? That was already going to be mine. Whenever you texted me, said, have you seen the Liberty game? I cannot believe what they did to BYU. So that's my big takeaway from this past weekend.
Well, you say we don't talk. We say we don't talk about them, Zach. Here you go, right here. They're 7-1. They're running back Day Hunter, 23 rushes, Sprouse, 213 yards on the ground, 1 touchdown.
Well, yeah, dude, I tweeted out the top performers from the weekend, and everybody was giving me hell because I didn't have him on there. I'm like, guys, join the conference. I mean, what do you want me to do? You mean start putting Army and Notre Dame and BYU players on there too? I mean, I'm not putting Independence.
Well, let's
Can
be
we-
honest.
can we also
Notre
get
Dame
that-
wouldn't have any players. In the
I've
top.
noticed that some guys that do the voting polls for a group of 5, they keep putting BYU in their Sprouse. Have you told them to stop doing that?
For the last 2 years. I've been
Okay.
telling them.
All right.
I know. Side note too, you know, we did have we did have Kyle DeArmond on. We talked about Malik Willis pre-draft in the summer, or in the spring last year. So we've given Liberty some love now.
I'm sure they'll get
they're
a
gonna
lot
be all
more
over
once
the
they
place
get.
next year.
Yeah. So appreciate it, Zach. Man, appreciate
Thanks
you
for the
listening,
call,
and keep them coming for sure. All
No
right.
question.
Now we got the rebuttal. Steeple
Yes.
PC 51. He wasn't too happy with the boy. He couldn't remember his name. He said the guy down in Louisiana. So let's get to it.
Hey, group of 5 guys, what's going on? This is Steeple _PC _51. How you doing? Enjoying this bye week. Enjoy some Sunbelt play this weekend. Watch some other conferences and just to see what they have, and looking for future endeavors. Come on here to talk a little bit about Coastal. I hope they regroup. Old Dominion embarrassed themselves this weekend. But I usually don't like talking about other teams. But I am going to talk about one team. Let me address that guy from Louisiana, or however, what's his name? Oh, like The Rock said, it doesn't matter what his name is. This clown is going at Coastal, all upset, and having parties and celebrating like because we lost, and then he's gonna call and say everybody in the Sun Belt that don't like him. Well, you know what? We really don't care. Coastal don't care. I don't care. Whether you like us or not. We're 6-1. We're still in a good position to win our side. Handle your business on your side. Look at your record. Celebrate the little wins you got. You just got Arkansas State. That was an easy win. Hey, enjoy it. Now go ahead and throw the shrimp and the little crawdads on the grill and do what you do down there. Talk about dirty Myrtle. Man, ain't nobody want to go to Louisiana. Man, if you say Myrtle Beach, Louisiana, ain't nobody want to go to Louisiana. You swamp infested, marsh everywhere. Man, y'all can't even, right now, your hot sauce ain't even the hottest thing. People are getting Texas Pete more than Louisiana hot sauce. Man, come on, man. Get off of that. Hey, look, and you call us dirty and cheated? Hey, man, how about 2013? Didn't Louisiana have NCAA sanctions against them and got the championship taken away from them? Oh, what? You didn't know that? Well, guess what? I just reminded you. Come on, get off of Coastal. And it doesn't matter if you put your screen name up or I'm not no Facebook whore. I don't go that route. But I tell you what, you come right down, come right on here every time and let you know. When we see you, make it to the championship if you get there. Make it to the championship, and let's see who's the best in the conference this year. Got it? Thank you. Sorry, 5 guys. I've been on this Yingling flight all day long.
Again.
All right, he got cut off, so let me finish it off. Part 2.
Sorry, guys, about the rant. The Steeple _PC _51. Yeah, just had to get it off my chest. This is a great forum to do that. I do appreciate it. Hey, Bear, you got to respect that. Bear, man, I really, really dig you, dude. Love your commentating. I love your facts when you give it up. I love when you just come out and just let everybody know fictional facts. Because the Louisiana one, hey, that was my thing. I kind of, Texas Pete is probably the number one. The Louisiana hot sauce sucks. Anyway. Oh, dude, keep selling out your arena. Louisiana, you shouldn't even be talking shit because y'all went from the penthouse to the shit house. in one season of losing the coach. Yeah, y'all lost a lot, but didn't Coastal lose a lot? And we're still leading the East. Man, come on. Now, if you want some more other facts, I can give it to you. Facts like, crawdads taste like frog. They all taste the same. And
I need a drink with this
I'm
guy.
done. Anyway, enjoyed it, guys. I will talk to y'all later. And what's my favorite thing? See you guys in Conway. Peace.
Steeple, man.
Fictional
Incredible.
facts. I love that.
Incredible.
He loves my fictional facts.
That was fantastic. Texas Pete over Louisiana hot
Texas
sauce.
Pete.
Oh my gosh.
Texas Pete pretty good now.
More about Red Hot. Put that shit on anything.
That's what we want.
Oh man.
Ladies and gentlemen,
God,
keep
can
them
you
coming.
imagine what's going to happen next week? Because I just feel like Terry's going to go Goku Super Saiyan mode and just go crazy next week. Oh, man.
It'll be good. Keep them coming. And we got one more. We got one more last one, and nothing better to end the voicemails with a boy. Stu's right from Twitter.
Oh, goodness.
Stu, welcome back.
Hey guys, Stu's right from Twitter here. A little better mood than some recent calls. I missed you on Wednesday night because I was on a golf trip, and looked like Appalachia kind of got their act together a little bit, as well as Louisiana. Maybe old creme brulee got some guys fired up. Speaking of creme brulee, how about Texas State? Yep, they got beat. Not surprised. Sorry, Jeff and everybody that picked them. Looks like another wild week in Group 5 football. Didn't get many eyes on the games. Notice Marshall beat James Madison at James Madison. That's pretty interesting. Tulane keeps rolling. There you go, Swag Bear. Anyways, I didn't get to see much. Didn't get to see many of the football games. Just wanted to get your take, maybe on what happened with ECU and UCF if you get a chance. That looked like a butt whooping I didn't expect to happen, but good for the Pirates. They need it. And anyways, just checking in. Go Ats.
Appreciate you, Stu, as always, and appreciate everybody that called in. I know we'll get to that ECU game here in a little bit, so Stu will definitely talk about that plenty, but keep the voicemails coming. It's been on fire the last couple of weeks. That's what we want. We want to hear from you guys, so.
I just can't wait for when the time comes that we can have a Group of 5 meet up and just get everybody together.
Incredible.
Have some cold ones, that'll be a great time. But yeah, thanks for calling, man. And if you guys do want to support, obviously keep calling. Hit us with the follows, the likes, the shares. Y'all make sure to go to group5guys.com. Get yourself a hoodie, get yourself a t-shirt. I saw a couple hoodies on Twitter this week, so thank you guys for that. But yeah, it's good quality hoodie, not too expensive or anything like that. We would really appreciate the support there. Moving on, Week 8 headlines. We talked about some of them from the calls. You guys were looking at it all. Start with you, Swag Bear. Give me your headline from Week 8. You already said it, huh?
I did say Liberty just obliterating BYU, but let me tap myself on the shoulder like Tipton did, because I think I'm the only one that called this game. Western Kentucky beating UAB at Western Kentucky, put about $25 in the old pocket. That's all I profited this weekend because I lost a lot. But thank you, Western Kentucky. It was a fantastic win, big win for for Western Kentucky against UAB. I was completely wrong on that team. If you go back to episode 1 of this season, I said they were going to win like 1 or 2 games. That team's for real. So good job, WKU.
Yeah. Tip, what about you?
Just looking at that Buffalo comeback to beat Toledo. Toledo was up 27-10 going into the fourth quarter, and Buffalo outscores them 24-0 in the fourth quarter to beat them 34-17. Got to give credit to Buffalo, though. They're now 4-0 in the MAC and still first place in the East Division.
Yeah, and it was funny because for the last 2 or 3 weeks we've been talking about Daquan Finn, how he doesn't turn it over, he's efficient. What did they do, man? Toledo turned it over a bunch, and that's what got him. So, Murph, what about you? Headlines from Week 8.
Yeah, and to touch on that Buffalo game real quick, not to go too crazy into it, but they forced 7 turnovers, and shout out Marcus Fuqua, 3 interceptions, defensive back, on that guy. So that's candidate for the player of the week right there defensively. Obviously, ECU was a huge win. I know we'll talk about that in depth, but I'm going to go a little unconventional here. And it was a win that cost their opponent even more. But FIU taking it to Charlotte. Our boy Tyrese Chambers,
Huge
10
game.
catches, 143 yards. I mean, that is a massive game, and it resulted in Will Healy getting fired from the Charlotte 49ers.
Yeah, tough. So first of all, congrats to FIU. I mean, they're starting to look okay. Did y'all see them celebrating in the locker room? A little pep bus.
I did see
on the
that.
radio in there. But Coach Max got those guys buying in, and we talked about it last week. He's got some students buying in. They got a big game Friday night at home. I'm looking forward to seeing what – I'm not thinking they're going to sell out the place or anything, but I bet you they're going to get some student support. They keep rattling off a couple wins. That FIU is going to turn around really quick. But, yeah, man, I mean, Coach Heels, that's a tough break. What's up, Murph?
No, I was just going to say, we wish the best for Coach Heels. He's been nothing but gracious and nice to us. We got to interview him last year. We got to spend some time with him, and he's a great coach. I don't know what exactly happened at Charlotte. Didn't end up working out, I'm sure, the way that he wanted, but he's going to land somewhere, and he'll be good. And I saw a tweet today by Jimmy Touchstone, which I thought was awesome. And I don't have it pulled up. I can't read it word for word, but the sense of the matter was, firing your head coach in the middle of the season is never anything that you want. But that faithful needs to show up for those players because those guys are still going to be on the field. So, man, show up for those guys, support them. They're in a tough spot, and you got a lot of seniors on that team. Chris Reynolds, one in particular, that came back to be a part of that. So go and support those guys. I know a lot of people were calling for Will Healy's head the last couple weeks, and it ended up happening. But still go and support those guys. They still got a lot of games left in this season.
Yeah, 100%. For me, my headlines from week 8, going to the American Conference. We talked about it. When is UCF gonna lay their inexplicable egg? There it was. And it was just they couldn't do anything right. And then at the same time, Cincinnati, they got the win over a decent SMU team, but it was sloppy, man. And maybe both of those teams, we're looking forward to their game this weekend. Cincinnati at UCF. I mean, I heard Corso say on game day they might go to UCF, and then, of course, UCF lost. But I don't know. I mean, it was just sloppy from Cincinnati. They survived, which good teams do. And then UCF looked pretty bad too. And then Tulane in the American, they rolled. I mean, they let off the gas quite a bit at the end there, but what were they up? 45-0, was it?
No, they went 45.
30,
they were like
35-0.
35-0,
Yeah.
and then Memphis did what Memphis does. I mean, they had two very similar offenses, like I said last week, and it was like the exact opposite happened in the second half. It was. I enjoyed it because I had the over. It was really fun to watch.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you were getting scared for a minute because only Tulane was scoring, and then
I know. I was like, they're going to
the
just put their
second half
twos
rolled
in. Yep.
Yeah. Jeff, if you want to hit us with the Southern Roots Radio commercial, and then we'll get into the players of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. So we partnered with Southern Roots Radio. They play that Americana style music. Chris Stapleton, Tyler Childers, a bunch of different artists from that genre. Go check them out. Social media at Southern Roots Radio, southernrootsradio.com. You can download an app that you can play it. It's literally just like your radio station, but through any device that you have. And it's connecting the storytelling and twang from classic Music Row, the grit and blues from Beale Street, and the rhythm and soul coming out of the singing river of Muscle Shoals. Go check them out.
No question about it. Thank you guys for playing our show there on Wednesdays. Top performers player-wise from Week 8, or you could go with a coach or a student section or fans. This is brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the app. Use our code GOFG. They'll match you up to $100 on a first-time deposit. Week 8, Swag Bear, top player. Who you got?
I'll go with your boy, Tyrese Chambers at FIU. He had like 10 or 11 catches from 150 yards. No TDs, but he was a huge impact against Charlotte 49ers. Fortunately, we know Will Healy got exempt, but was a great outing for FIU. So proud of that team.
Yeah, Tyrese has been hurt the last couple of weeks too, so good to see him come back in a very big way. Tip, what about you?
Yeah, I'm looking at Rice wide receiver Luke McCaffrey. His older brother, Christian McCaffrey, gets traded to the 49ers on Thursday. And then on Saturday, Luke comes out, gets 10 receptions, 171 yards, and 2 touchdowns against Louisiana Tech. And then also got App State running back Cam Peoples. We talked about him a little earlier. The 23 carries, 168 yards, and 2 touchdowns against Georgia State. Looks like he's back and healthy. I think he's going to be the X factor for this team going down the stretch for the rest of this season. And we talked about him a little earlier, but so I'll just talk about it real quick. But Troy's defense holding South Alabama to 6 points in that huge win. They had 3 sacks, 6 tackles for loss, and 1 interception in that game. And Carlton Martial had 8 tackles in that game. He's now 33 tackles away from being number 1 all-time in FBS for career tackles.
He's going to get that quick. I mean, they got 5 games left? Yeah. He'll get that easy. Murph, what about you? Week 8, top performance?
Yeah, I got a couple guys. I'm going to go with the Wyoming Cowboys. They are 3-1 in Mountain West. And Titus Swen, 28 rushes, 160 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. And they had another guy, running back, DQ James, 10 rushes, 120 yards. So they are pounding the rock at Wyoming. They beat Utah State this weekend. And I'm going to go Fresno State. Jordan Mims, 26 carries, 165 yards, 1 touchdown. And Logan Fife has been holding down the fort that since Jake Haener has gotten hurt, and they're playing some pretty darn good football. They changed their identity a little bit, going a little more run game, but it's paying off for them. And they're right. I mean, they're still in the thick of it for the Mountain West. So shout out to the Fresno State Bulldogs.
Well, they host San Diego State this weekend, and winner will be in first place on that side of the division, on that side of the conference. So for me, staying in the Mountain West, I'm going Boise State's defense. Held Air Force to 175 yards rushing. I know that doesn't sound great, but when you think about Air Force averages 336 yards rushing per game, they held Brad Roberts to 90 yards, and nobody else got hardly anything else. Etheridge was in the negative. And they dominated Air Force at Air Force, and don't look now, Boise State rolling
potato poppers.
So that's what I got from week 8 going into week 9. We got 2 non-conference games. The first one I think is a decent one. ECU at BYU. BYU 3.5-point favorites on a Friday night in Provo. Jesse, you remember Friday nights in Provo. Place is a tough place to play, but ECU looked pretty good this week.
ECU did look pretty good this week. I'm going to say BYU bounces back, though. East Carolina, up and down for me. Big win, probably now due for a loss. So Provo's hard, man. It's hard to breathe up there. Know from experience. So I'll take BYU.
Yeah, I'm going to take ECU just because BYU's been pretty inconsistent, but I'm with you. That altitude is something to look out for with ECU going over there. Murph, Tip, you guys got anything else on that?
I got East Carolina. I mean, BYU giving up over 100 rushing yards a game. I mean, this has Keaton Mitchell game written all over it for me. So I think East Carolina has a lot of success running the ball. I think
he was hurt.
No, he's back.
He played.
Yeah,
he was hurt.
105 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns.
Well,
and I'll add one more. I'll add one more note to that. Holton Ahlers is playing some pretty darn good football right now.
Yeah.
311 yards passing, 1 touchdown passing, and 1 rushing touchdown as well. So that offense is cranked up. And say what you want, UCF laid an egg, whatever. ECU showed up and did what they had to do. So I think that's going to roll, over into this game. BYU gets smoked by Liberty. That's a bad look. So give me ECU on the road.
Going down with the ship. I'm sticking with
Baylor. Okay, good call.
Sticking with Baylor.
Baylor's a good club.
Sticking with BYU.
You got App State's got Robert Morris at home for homecoming. They roll.
That's a nice one.
Told you it'd be a bad show here.
Sad part is, I thought it's been one of your better ones.
My tongue just went numb right there again. I tell you, sometimes my tongue just stops working.
Oh, poor Michaela.
Christ. Her parents listen to this show. Either way.
American Conference, game of the week. Cincinnati sitting at 3-0 in the conference. UCF 2-1 in the conference. This game is in Orlando. There was no line on this game as of yesterday. Tip, do you have a line on it yet? Or is it a pick?
Cincinnati's favored by 1.
Ooh. Well, Swag Bear, what do you think?
Cincinnati. I'm not even going to give an explanation. I just Cincinnati. But here's the explanation. I don't trust UCF. I don't trust Gus. I don't trust Gus Bus. I trust Bus as far as I can throw the guy. I think that Cincinnati is consistent. They have a close game with SMU, yes, but they won. Good teams win. I think Cincinnati is still that dude, the group of 5. I am contradicting myself, Jeff, for what I've said this whole time. Ben Bryant, not that bad. So I think that he goes to UCF.
I'm going to clip that one.
Yeah, and I think that Cincinnati's a good ball club. They may smoke UCF. So,
yeah, I think the crowd's going to probably play a factor early in that game. I just think Cincinnati's defense is too good. I think they roll. I think this is a 9 or 10 point win for them. Tip, what do you think?
Yeah, we just kind of talked about it, but UCF gave up, the 105 yards, 6.6 yards per carry to Keaton Mitchell last week. So I think since he's running back, Charles McClellan, he should have a good game in this one. I think Cincinnati wins this game.
Murph?
Yeah, I don't like this game. I don't like it. UCF is so hot and cold. They were just cold. They could show up hot at home. I'm staying away from this betting-wise. I think it's going to be a pretty close game. I'm going to take Cincinnati just because they have been proven to more be the better team. But as far as betting-wise, I'm staying away from this game. And if I could drop a little side note, boys, I just got a notification. The Patriots have pulled, this Monday Night Football, have pulled Mac Jones. Bailey Zappi has been entered into the game.
Zappy hour.
Because they are down 10-0 to the Chicago Bears. Shout out Bailey Zappi.
I'll tell you what, and this is going to air on Wednesday, so hopefully Zappi plays well.
Yeah.
Or we're going to look real foolish. But I saw, did Kirk Herbstreit make a foolish comment about saying nobody knows where Bailey Zappi played college football, and he said something like Bowling Green, Kentucky, right? Which, yes,
it is Bowling Green, Kentucky.
It is. But it's Western Kentucky University, and they said it in a way that it was like Western Kentucky, some podunk small school. Well, guess what, buddy? He's out playing your first-round draft pick from the almighty Alabama. So, Yes, sir. Tyler Tipton, what you got?
Just real quick update on Bailey Zappi's first drive. He went 3 for 3 for 54 yards and a passing touchdown.
Is that
and
good?
They just drove and scored again, and now the Patriots are winning 14-10 on his first 2 drives.
He really is, isn't he? He gets away with it because he's so nice to Lee Corso up there, and he gets this little pass like he's, this.
Little they know he abuses the guy at night. Like he paddles him and stuff. And it's like, no porridge for you, Lee.
He's probably feeding him all the dumb things that we think Corso says. Probably Herbstreit's probably feeding him the wrong notes under the table there.
Another thing, that Pat McAfee guy started to get on my nerves too a little bit. I thought I liked the guy, but he's a little full of himself. Not saying I'm not.
He's a WWE superstar. Of course he is. He plays the role.
Yeah. Anyway,
sorry.
where
I just saw that and I thought that was pretty good.
Murph, who you got? UCF or Cincy?
I'm gonna go Cincy in a close one, just because. But it wouldn't shock me if UCF shows up and for some reason beats them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if they show up and the crowd gets going and they got some momentum and Gus gets the offense rolling, they got a chance. Anything else in the American you guys are looking at? You got South Florida at Houston, Temple at Navy, SMU at Tulsa. Nothing. No surprises there.
Tulsa is the home dog. Everybody 3, but I don't know. I like Tanner Mordecai in that offense.
They played Cincy tight last week too.
Yeah.
Is South Florida due for an upset, Sprouse? Is it week 39 when it happens?
35 straight games. They've improved. They are 18-point road dogs at Houston.
I don't know if that's the one they get.
They get smacked. Listen. No, Houston has actually quietly been playing. You know what's so funny? This is what I want to say. I'm going to toot all of our horns here. All the teams that we said preseason were going to be good, that started out the gate slow, and we were like, oh, God, we were way off. the last couple weeks
Starting to
they've
look.
been getting hot.
Yeah.
And you could look at Houston. I mean, Houston's 2-1 in the conference. They could end up going 10-3 with
Yeah.
a bowl win and a conference championship win. So
Yeah.
there's still some time to go. But yeah, I mean, South Florida, they got a chance to cover that though. Actually, I mean, 18's a lot of points, and they usually keep it close in the first half, and then I don't really know what happens after that. They stop improving. Conference USA, you got a big one. North Texas.
I interrupt, Jeff. Market. I was saying, speaking of a team that's good that we said was going to be good. Me and you, Sprouse, North Texas.
Yeah, North Texas sitting at 3-1 in the conference. They're at Western, who's also 3-1 in the conference. Western 10-point favorites at home. I'm gonna tell you, dude, North Texas, they didn't look bad. They took a loss, but they did not look bad. Swag Bear, what you got?
Give me North Texas all day. That sounds stupid, but I do. They played UTSA at UTSA very well. Western Kentucky coming off an emotional win against UAB. I think it's a reality check. I really like North Texas going to Western Kentucky and winning the game. I like North Texas.
I do too. I'm with you, and I think I got to because I think me and you had North Texas.
That's exactly
I
why I
had
chose North Texas.
I think I might be making this completely up, but I'm pretty sure I had a North Texas UTSA rematch in the conference championship game with North Texas winning the second round. But
you may have. I know we both had them in the championship game.
Yeah. So I think North Texas has got to win that game to get there.
That's why. I specifically
remember
that I had UTSA going, but almost North Texas. They came in second.
Doesn't matter. Them playing UAB.
I had them playing UAB. Yes. And I had UAB winning the conference.
I think I had UAB North Texas. I don't know. Anyway, Tip, what do you got in that game? North Texas at Western.
I got Western Kentucky winning the game, but I'm going to take North Texas on the road plus 10 back-to-back weeks. I think 10 points is just too much. I think they cover that. You saw how well they played at UTSA last week, so I think they cover that 10 points. I don't normally do this because of what Jay Vandy said to us. And he said if he ever looks at an over-under and he thinks about taking the under, he normally just doesn't bet it. But this over-under for this game is at 70.5. I just think that's way too high. Like, I'm hammering the under. And just some games of reference recently this season. Western Kentucky, when they played UTSA, that was a 28-31 final. That's 59 points. North Texas last week at UTSA, that was a 27-31 final. So that was 58 total points. Troy, when they went up to Western Kentucky, that was a 34-27 game, 61 points. I just see this game right at around that 60-point total mark. So this will probably be the only time I ever do this, but I'm taking the under in this game.
I like it. Murph, what do you think?
I think Western Kentucky wins. I think they come out. Austin Reed's going to throw the ball all over the yard. They're at home. They play a lot better at home. Their offense does anyways. So give me Western Kentucky. Cover the 10, I don't know. Probably stay away from that as far as a spread bet. But I'm with Tip on the point total. I think that's high.
There's some pretty decent games in Conference USA this week. What else are you guys looking at? I know Murphy, you're probably looking at Middle at UTEP. Obviously, you're going to be there calling the game.
Yep.
Actually, pretty excited to see what your thoughts are on UTEP. A lot of people love that stadium in that area. So.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see that. I heard it's an awesome stadium, and it's really kind of in an awesome part of Texas. So I'm excited to get out there, working hopefully to get a facilities tour. Reached out to a gentleman today, the athletic director. Haven't heard back from him yet. So if any of you UTEP fans, if y'all listen to the show and you know anybody at the school or the department might have a line on something, shoot me in the DMs. But I'll be there Friday, pretty much all day Friday afternoon. Got not much to do, so would love to go check out a couple local watering holes, meet any fans up possible, and then excited to call the game Saturday.
What are your thoughts on the game?
Oh, the game. Yeah, that's probably a good point.
Chase Cunningham off of bye week, Middle Tennessee.
Here's the big deal. MTSU has been banged up. They've been out DJ England Chisholm since the Miami game when he had those two long bombs. Frank Pizon got hurt against Western in the second quarter. They've been without two of their starting offensive linemen for most of the year. So this bye week came at a very, very important time. We've talked about it all year, how their schedule has been very front-loaded. Now, UTEP is playing some pretty good football, so they're not a pushover or any stretch. But give me Chase Cunningham and the Blue Raiders. Go down to El Paso and take care of business. Get their first conference win of the year.
Hope so. Tip, what games in Conference USA are you looking at?
Boys, look out for those bags of rice. I'm telling y'all, watch out for Rice. With the win over Charlotte this week, they can move to 3-1 in the conference. And the rest of this season, they still got to play Western Kentucky, UTSA, and North Texas. They can stir some things up. I see you over there laughing, Swag.
No, I said lost.
What? Hey, they can stir some stuff up in that bowl of rice. I'm telling you, watch
rice.
out.
Little stir fry, huh, Tip? Little stir fry.
You're supposed to let it sit, Tip. Obviously, you don't cook.
Here's the deal on that, Tip. Typically, teams fare quite well in game one with an interim head coach. Look out
momentum boost
for the Charlotte 49ers to get a little
Is that a fictional fact?
No, that's 100% right. Now, they don't fare well after the fact. Like the game one, they typically do well. And, oh, wait a second now, Tip. I'm going to throw something, a little wrinkle at you. Not only did the Charlotte 49ers get rid of Will Healy and replace him with an interim head coach, the local Carolina Panthers fired their head coach, got an interim head coach, and had a big W on Sunday.
After trading away arguably their best player on the team.
That's exactly right.
That is nuts.
Maybe Grant Dubose transfers and then Charlotte. You never know.
That's so funny. I didn't even process that. That's funny.
No, I don't think Rice covers that. I think Rice probably wins that game. I'm looking at, and I know Swag, but I forgot to go to you. I'll go to you last. Save you one. I think FIU beats La Tech Friday night. Home dogs. That's right. I'm calling it right now. Coach Max
I'm
got
rooting
that
for
thing
them.
going.
Rooting for FIU to win that game
too.
Something I've been doing.
Sorry, Swag, I only saved you one game, but.
Oh well, I was going to talk about it. Something I've been doing as of late. For the remainder of this season, I'm just going to go for a good home dog. So FAU, they are +6 right now against the UAB. Just something I want to start doing is just betting on the home dog. So I'm going to take FAU on this one, +6.
Both 2-2, and up until last year, it was
I didn't get the
UAB.
response I thought I was going to get. That's fine. I respect that, Jeff.
What response were you looking for?
That's what Jeff. Well, because that's what Jeff said he was going to be doing. He said, "I'm taking home dogs remainder of the year."
I mean,
that's what I said.
My betting style, I pretty much have been when I'm picking spreads and stuff. I just give me a home dog with pickles, relish, onion.
It doesn't matter
tomato.
who we pick. It doesn't matter what the spread is. For all we know, Middle Tennessee is going to blow out UTEP, and North Texas is going to whip Charlotte. Western Kentucky, and FAU is going to beat UAB by 31 points. It does not. We don't know. We don't know. Group of 5 drives me crazy.
So you take both of them teams are 2-2 in the conference. Up until last year, it was UAB and FAU played for like the last 3 conference championship games. So, I mean, hey, I'm with you. I like the Owls. Moving on to the MAC. So we only got 2 games on Saturday in the MAC because we'll be going to MACtion after that. So you got Toledo, 11-point favorites on the road at Eastern Michigan. And then you got Miami of Ohio, 9-point favorites on the road at Akron. Any upsets? Swag Bear, what do you think?
Absolutely not. Toledo destroys Eastern Michigan.
I thought you were taking home dogs the rest of the way.
I lied. No.
What's
that? Is that Darth Vader? I lied. Toledo.
Pretty sure that wasn't Darth Vader, but
yeah, it was. It's in the new Disney Plus Solo. I don't know. It's that somebody listening to this podcast has my back right now. It's a meme, a GIF, a TikTok. I lied. Toledo. They lost. They lost to Buffalo, but they can't afford to lose Eastern Michigan. They got to stay on top so they can play Buffalo again in the championship game. They're not going to lose Eastern Michigan. Love you, Eastern Michigan. Yeah, but you ain't who I thought you were. Toledo, big win.
Tip, you think any upsets this week?
I'm nervous about that Toledo Eastern Michigan game. To be honest, I think Toledo is going to win. I think they're the better team, and I think they should win. But if they turn the ball over again, like they did up in Buffalo, they're not going to win this game. But I mean, this is a huge game. The winner of this game is going to be first place in the West Division. But I think Toledo learns from that fourth quarter collapse last week against Buffalo, and I think they win this game. But I think Eastern Michigan keeps it close.
Murph?
It's embarrassing. What am I doing?
Give me the Akron Zips, the home dog. 9 points? 9 points?
Wow.
DJ Irons has been actually – I mean, he's turned it over a little too much for my liking, but he's been putting up big-time numbers in the air and on the ground. Give me Akron at home. Take him. Why not? Let's go for it. I think they win.
I feel like such a fraud. Like a fraud. I've been preaching Eastern Michigan
I agree.
all year. And here's their chance to be number 1 in the West. And I'm over here going against them. And I'm over here.
Change your
acting like
pick, dude.
I am changing my pick. Screw Toledo. I'm going to Eastern Michigan. It ain't because what you said, Tip. Just a little bit. Taking Eastern Michigan. They're gonna win the freaking MAC because they're the best team in the MAC. Let's go, EMU. Everything I said the past couple weeks, I take it back. We're back. We're back. EMU.
I think Buffalo's the best team in the MAC right now.
Mount West.
Proved it so far.
MAC West. MAC West.
Here's the deal about taking Akron at +9, Jeff. I got a stat for you. Last 5 games for the Redhawks. They beat Northwestern by 3 points. They lost to Buffalo by 4 points. They beat Kent State by 3. They lost to Bowling Green by 4. And last week they lost to Western Michigan by 6. They are playing close games no matter who they play. Low-scoring games as well. I like Miami, Ohio to win this game. I like Akron +9, Jeff, at home.
Take it.
God, Miami, Ohio, I mean,
yeah, I don't know.
Low scoring. Gabbert was hurt for a while. He played last week, though, and they only put up 10 points. So very, very interesting there in the old MAC. And then next week, we got Tuesday night MACtion coming. So we're about to have football 7 days a week, boys and girls. It's going to be very exciting. Mountain West, we talked about it earlier. Game of the week in the Mountain West. You got San Diego State and Fresno State, both 2-1. Winners going to be in sole possession of first place in the West. At Fresno 8-point favorites. We have anything on Jake Haener? I mean, I know they've been holding it down, but still nothing on Haener. Swagbear, what do you think in this game?
If they have Haener, they'll definitely win. But I thought he was back, so I don't know. I thought he was back. Did he not play the other day?
No.
He played 2 weeks ago, didn't he?
No, Logan Fife has been holding it down since he's been hurt.
Well, my sources are telling me he's coming back this week. I think that's going to be a big win for Fresno State. But they're going to have a sold-out crowd more than likely, right? Because they have a great following. So even if they don't have him, the atmosphere is going to be there. That's going to make up for at least 10 or 14 points. Give me Fresno State. Maybe not -8, but money line for sure. I don't know why I said for sure. I know for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like we've been talking about, Fresno State's been playing really well without Jake Haener. Logan Fife is, after struggling against UConn and then Boise State in back-to-back weeks, he's looked good the last 2 weeks. So yeah, we're not sure about when Jake Haener is going to return or not, but Logan Fife has looked really comfortable these last 2 games. San Diego State is only scoring 19 points a game, so I don't think their offense can keep up with Fresno State. So I like Fresno State to win this game at home.
Yeah, San Diego State, we thought we're going to have the quarterback issue solved from last year. And I'll be honest, I haven't watched a ton of their games, but still not scoring, still relying on the defense. So I like Fresno. I like them to cover in that game too. Murph, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you. I like them to win. I like them to cover. Young, inexperienced quarterback's best friend is a great running back, and his second best friend is a great receiver. You got Jordan Mims and Jalen Moreno-Cropper. So he's got a great supporting cast. And all he's got to do is play point guard, hand it off here, throw easy, quick game routes to the outside, take a couple shots here now and then. And I think Fresno State, I mean, they were my pick to win it with Jake Haener. I think they're still in the driver's seat right now. And I think they beat San Diego State.
Is that really the same? Your best friend's a receiver and your neighbor is a running back? What was it?
Your best friend as an inexperienced quarterback is a great running back, and your second best friend is a great receiver. And he's got He's got
So the
both.
guy you just called to hang out with, he's the guy blocking for you, bleeding for you over there, left tackle, center, snapping it to you, right guard over here, power drive, blocking people. We're going to give it to the guy that's just going to high step it to the end zone. That's your best friend.
I'm just telling you, you can have a great offensive line and have no skill players, and if you're a young guy, you're SOL. So
agree, disagree.
Well, now, hold on now. Yeah, hold on now.
Yeah, I
Because
mean, I was hoping I get some support on this.
Now, I'm just going to tell you.
Hop in there, please.
I'm
not saying they're not important. Don't put words in my mouth.
As a battered and bruised, physically, mentally, and emotionally assaulted Miami Dolphins fan for 32 years, we have had quarterback after quarterback come in there, and the only ones that have been good, last good one we've had, has been Jay Fiedler, and that's because he had an O-line protecting him.
We did have
not because he had.
Who was his running back, though?
To Murph's point right here, Tua hasn't looked good the last few years, but then you bring in Raheem Mostert, Tyreek Hill, and then you got Waddle there. They look pretty
all of a
good
sudden.
this year.
And hold on.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, he brought in a left tackle.
I'm just saying. I would say if you have a legit offensive line and you're inexperienced,
of course,
you have time to analyze field. Guess what? You might make 3 or 4 more best friends because you look at the other receivers, not just that one.
Of course, but I'm just saying.
Just invite us to the picnic.
Let me change my statement. All right.
Be great.
His best friend is a great running game because that includes everybody. Okay, and his second best friend is a great receiver.
Okay, well that's inclusion. It's what we're all about. Here at Group of 5.
I think it's collusion, but
hey, so on a little bit more serious note, so San Jose State, did you guys see that?
what
I
happened?
think it was a freshman running back was on a scooter and was hit by a car and passed. So they canceled their game last week. It was not, I don't believe it was a conference game. I think it was New Mexico State.
Yeah, New Mexico State.
But they're back playing, and I don't know how. I mean, I'm not in that locker room, and I don't know, who this guy was, if he was everybody's friend or, but I don't know how you come back and play that quickly. But they are playing. They're hosting Nevada, and football wise, they're 26-point favorites at home in that game. But shout out to those guys, that locker room. I'm sure they're going through some stuff. That kid's family. I mean, that's horrible stuff. But football wise, we'll see if they rally. And I think they'll probably have a good crowd. I would hope that they would do a pretty cool little deal for him before the game. Honor his family. Hopefully they can get his family in town. But yeah, so. That sucked. I saw that, and it's a shame it didn't get more, publicity for a guy, but it's kind of par for the course. But lighten it back up. Anything else you guys are looking at? There's some big. I mean, there's with that San Jose State game, it's a 26-point spread. Boise's 26.5-point favorites at home, and then no line. I didn't see Wyoming going to Hawaii. I would thought Wyoming would have been favored in that one.
I got a little something for you, Sprouse.
Yeah, what do you got?
Look out, but the Colorado State Rams are 2-1 in conference, going to Boise State. I don't know if I'm here calling upset. 26.5. Colorado State's playing some good football. I might take plus 26.5 Colorado State if I'm a betting man.
And they've been doing it. I know we talk about the air raid and everything, but they've been doing it a couple ways. They've been doing it with the run game a little bit. So, yeah. 26.5 is a lot of points. 4 touchdowns.
Especially for Boise State. I know they got a little life injected to their offense with that quarterback, and their defense is pretty good, but it's just a lot of points.
Yeah, I mean, and if they're thinking they're going to win by 28 or 27, I mean they're probably going to have to score 42 at least.
Yeah.
To make that happen. So I'm with you on that. I could see Colorado State covering that game. Moving on to the Sun Belt, we got a Thursday night game. We got the Ragin' Cajuns of Louisiana, 2.5-point favorites, going to Hattiesburg. It's a big game in the West. I told you earlier, don't look now, but the Cajuns hopefully they stick with one quarterback because Wooldridge is a good player. He's been playing pretty well. But start with you, Swag Bear. What you got in this one?
I'm going to go with home dog. I'm going to go with Southern Miss. Big win against Texas State.
You listening, Terry?
Yeah, this is not Louisiana's year. They've had some big wins, but I think Southern Miss is better than what people, or I say people, us, but better than what we're portraying them as. They're a good ball club, and they're going to get their wins too. So I'm going to take Southern Miss at home.
Yeah, Southern Miss. I mean, hell, they're the only team that beat Tulane this year.
Yeah.
So they're a good team. And Southern Miss is one. Yeah, you're right. We don't talk about them being in the race in the West right there, but they're sitting at 2-1 along with everybody else. So everybody kind of controls their own destiny right now from this bunch. Murph, what do you think in this one?
I'm gonna go Louisiana. They've been we've heard before. They've been playing better and better football each week. I think they're getting some things figured out. And like you said, Sprouse, I like that quarterback. As long as they stick with the one, I think he's been the key the last couple of weeks. Give me Louisiana.
5 touchdown passes against Arkansas State. So.
Yep.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks in a row. He's been the guy, and he got 2 wins. Tip, what do you think in that one?
So this home dog is now a home favorite. The line
really?
on this game has swung. Louisiana -2.5. Southern Miss is now favored by 1 point. That's how much this line has changed.
Is somebody hurt?
The past 15 seconds of this show resembles my life this season. Right there. Right there.
Well, so more on this game. This might not be the correct way to look at this game, but I'm looking at common opponents. Both of these teams have played Arkansas State. Southern Miss, but they both played them at home. Southern Miss beat Arkansas State 20-19 2 weeks ago. So recently, Louisiana beat Arkansas State 38-18 last week. So looking at the scores of those games, maybe it could have just been like a matchup deal or something, but I would give the edge to Louisiana in this game. Stats wise, both of these teams are very similar. But man, this is gonna be a really close game. I think my gut is telling me to take Southern Miss at home, but my heart is telling me to take Louisiana because of how well they've played the last 2 weeks. So I'm gonna go with Louisiana. I think they keep it rolling. They've been playing well, so I'm gonna go with Louisiana.
Give me the Cajuns. I think they're playing well at the right time, and I think they're going to be in the mix all the way to the end. Rest of the way in the Sun Belt, you got Old Dominion at Georgia State. You got South Alabama at Arkansas State, and you got Coastal at Marshall. Swag Bear, what are you looking at?
So you making Sam Hale is Georgia State favorite over ODU.
The same thing.
Georgia State, I will never bet on that team ever again. I will never bet on Georgia State ever again. That team, it might be 3 years before I ever bet on them again. Love the coach, love the attitude, but that defense. I don't know why they're favored over them.
What time does that game kick off? Do we know here?
2:00 on Saturday, 2:00 Central.
1:58 Central Time. We're gonna get a text in the group thread from the Swag Bear. Guys, I think I like Georgia State.
how in the Sam Hale? So, in Marshall's favored over Coastal.
That one surprises me. Yeah,
Marshall's been hot.
Marshall's hot.
That might be the old Vegas trap.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that's the game I'm looking at, Matthew, and I'm thinking Coastal handles Marshall. So at Marshall.
Yeah, I agree. I think Coastal, although they're sitting at 3-1, I think they still got a bunch to prove. They always have something to prove at Coastal, and if they want to stay, they don't want to mess around and lose that game, and then they'll have no room for error the rest of the way in the East.
Just going back to that Coastal Carolina and Marshall game, like I think Marshall beating James Madison plus Coastal losing their last game against Old Dominion is why Marshall's favored in this game, but James Madison, it doesn't look like Todd Centeio played for James Madison last week. So I don't know. I just think Coastal's the better team. I think they bounce back, and I think they win this game on the road.
I'm with you. Murph, you looking at anything else in the Sun Belt?
No, I mean I agree with you guys. I think Coastal beats Marshall I'm not sure why that line is there. And I think South Alabama, I think they handle business. A bounce-back game at Arkansas State. 10 points, that's kind of high, but Arkansas State has not been playing very well. So, South Alabama.
Last time Georgia State was favored at home, they beat Georgia Southern. But I don't get it. I don't understand. It's not a home field advantage, by God. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I'm with you on that.
Sorry, I'm a little bothered.
No, I don't. I'm with you. I think Old Dominion wins that game. But you never know, man.
I bet on Old DU and Georgia State wins, just flat out, I'm done.
Done.
I'll probably
done betting, and I'm done betting in the 2:00 slot.
I'm done betting. I'm turning in my track suits, and I'm giving you my computer. I'm done.
Okay. Everybody hear it. Mark it down. What time? Timestamp this, Jeff.
I got
it. In the recording.
8:50 Central Standard Time.
Player to watch next week.
Yeah, who you got? That was going to be the next thing. Hey, on Prize Picks, use our code GOFG, $100 deposit match. Swag Bear, who you got?
Real quick, Daquan Finn. I think he's going to have a bounce-back game against Eastern Michigan. I still take Eastern Michigan to win, but I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Let's give this guy a few titties. That's TDs, not titties.
Speaking of Wisconsin volleyball, what? Tip, what do you got?
So Houston wide receiver Nate Dell, Tank Dell, 7.5 receptions. I think he goes over that against South Florida. The Saturday lines, again, they're not out yet, but be looking at ECU running back Keaton Mitchell. Take a look at his rushing yards in that BYU game. I mentioned it earlier, BYU giving up over 200 rushing yards per game on defense. So I'm looking at Keaton Mitchell to go over on his rushing yards. And old reliable UAB running back Dwayne McBride, whatever his running back or whatever his rushing total number is, take the over against FAU. He's averaging 139 rushing yards per game this season. And anything over in the Cincinnati UCF game, I think there's going to be a lot of stats, a lot of points scored in that game.
Murph, what do you think? Player to watch?
I'm going to go Fresno State. Jordan Mims, whatever his rushing total is, take the over. He has been a dominant force for the Bulldogs. I think it continues against even a very good San Diego State defense. I think they've just figured out a formula down there in Fresno, and they're at home. That place is going to be sold out again. Great packed house for a conference game, huge game. And give me Jordan Mims on the over rushing yards.
I like it. Give me old reliable Ollie Jennings, Old Dominion. He's at 7, which I see what they're doing to me. They raised it up to 7 from that old trusty 6.5 I was hitting on every freaking week. But I still like it, man. I mean, that guy's easily the number 1 target. He's having a fantastic year. I think he's got 4 of their games this year with over 7 catches already. Playing Georgia State. We saw Grayson McCall throw all over the place against Georgia State. So I'll take Jennings over 7. And then, UTSA's off. So they missed. I think Cephas or Franklin missed 1 catch. I was 1 catch away from $100 from old Zachary Franklin, but it's what happens. But hey, anyway, if you guys like the show, you guys make sure you hit like and subscribe on YouTube. Share the podcast, share the social media, tell your friends and family. Go to group5guys.com, buy some merch, help us out, follow us, like, retweet, all the above. Also, sneak peek later in the week, Inside Drill with Troy head coach John Summerall. Be on the lookout. Group of 5 guys, we're out of here.